It's hockey night in Canada.
What a great, great feeling, what a wonderful sense of sheer enjoyment and of confidence. For there's something you're aware of, your card's been taken care of, at the SO sign of confidence at the happy motoring sign.
Imperial Oil, on behalf of Esso dealers and agents everywhere in Canada, bring you the 7th game in the Stanley Cup semifinals between the Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Direct from the Boston Garden in Boston. And here are Foster and Bill Hewitt.
We welcome the television audience coast to coast. The score is tied 1-1. Toronto Maple Leafs 1, Boston Bruins 1 here in Boston. And we're waiting for the two teams to return to the ice for the start of the second period. The referee is Eddie Powers, who has replaced Red Story, who was to referee this game, but Red Story resigned before the game, and so Eddie Powers has filled in the breach. 10 penalties handed out in a fiery first period, 5 apiece. The Leafs outshot Boston 10-5. The Leafs are coming on the ice now, wearing their dark blue uniforms, and they'll be to our left for the second period. Boston scored in the first 2 minutes of play when Mahovlich went off for slashing in 21 seconds. There's Bond coming on the ice. He was the battler in the big fight. Stasiak scored from Morrison at 1:11, and Stasiak had been in alone himself. Here come the Bruins, led by Lumley. They've got Moans in the lineup, all their stalwarts. So they're shooting the works, Flaman out there too, and Topazzini. All injured players. Vaughn is out there for the Leafs, and Regan with a broken hand. And Regan was the Leaf player who tied it up. Regan from Harrison Duff at 5:33 when the Bruins were shorthanded, when Lumley, the goalkeeper, was given an interference penalty, and it was served by Poliziani, the rookie for the Bruins. Leafs to our left, Boston to our right, a 1-1 tie. Stasiak from Morrison with Mahovlich off, and Regan from Harrison Duff while Lumley was off. And they're all set to go, and for the play-by-play, here's Bill Hewitt. All set to start the second period. The puck is dropped. Leafs are playing a man short, and the puck is shot back into the Boston zone. Lumley goes out of his net to stop it and leaves it there for Moans. Moans working under difficulty. A pass to Stasiak. Stopped by Stanley. Stanley knocked it high in the air with a high stick, and play is called. Horvath, Stasiak, Busick, Flaman and Moans, Fulford, Stewart, Horton, and Stanley for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're lining up for the face-off. The puck comes back to the Bruin defense, and back for it, number 19, Moans. A pass to Flaman, out to Busick, number 9, up over the Leaf line. A pass to Stasiak, back to Moans. Moans into Busick, and Horton sprawling in front to cover up. Fulford failed to get the puck out. It's shot, and Bauer made a nice save on that try. Stasiak passed it, and Mahovlich intercepted, and the puck went out. Busick will try his luck. Number 9 hit Fulford, and the Leafs clear the puck out to center ice. Busick bumped by Fulford. Here's Stewart coming over the line. He missed a check from Flaman, and Mahovlich stays out on the ice as Horton nearly lost the puck to Busick. It's offside at the Maple Leaf blue line, and that's where play ends. In that first period, which was extremely hard fought, and the Bruins had the advantage in the early part, but the Leafs came right back. There was one big fight on the ice, a near fight right at the end of the period, and there were numerous fights in the crowd all during the first period, and a lot of stuff, as usual, was thrown on the ice to delay the game. It's a 1-1 tie after 1 minute and 10 seconds of the second period. From the face-off, the puck is cleared into the Boston zone. Boyven goes back for it. Boyven is partially stopped. Topazzini cleared past pass went to center ice, and Vaughn of the Leafs has it. Vaughn shot the puck into the Boston zone. Armstrong clears to McKell, stopped by Duff. Back to Vaughn. Vaughn to Regan. Regan turns around at center, gets away from Armstrong, gets over the line, passes right in front to Duff. Duff shoots, and he shot wide. Regan right in front of Duff, he shoots. Oh, hit Lumley right in the face. Duff has it again for the Leafs. Trying to get it in front. Still has it. Shot it, lost it, and McKinney comes down over the line for Boston into the Leaf zone. McKinney pushed over by Brewer. Regan has it. Ahead to Armstrong at center. Armstrong shoots one. Lumley's bleeding badly in the mouth. A shot, and it's caught. Lumley's been cut in the mouth. Lumley is headed to the dressing room for repairs. He's bleeding very freely. There's Lumley there. He was very fortunate on that last shot by Duff or not so fortunate that it hit his face, but as far as saving a goal was concerned, Lumley's gone to the dressing room for repairs, and it was that kind of a save. He didn't even see it. It hit his mouth and cut him, but he didn't realize it gave him such a wallop. He was stunned by the impact of the drive, but if it hadn't hit him in the face, it would have gone in the net. Just after that, he juggled one that came very close to going into the corner. So the game will be held up while Lumley is being patched up. He's cut in the mouth, and it was from that shot that he inadvertently got in the way of. But fortunately for him, he stopped the puck from going in the net, but got a bad cut, or certainly is bleeding very freely from the mouth as he left the ice. The Bruins are just skating around. The Leafs are skating around at their own end. It's a 1-1 tie. Stasiuk scored the first goal of the game from Morrison when Mahovlich was off for slashing in 21 seconds. The goal was scored at 1:11. Topazini had a breakaway for the Bruins when Boyven next went off at 2:14, but he missed with the shot to the corner after Bauer made the move first. Then, with Lumley's penalty being served at 4:17, Regan tied it up with Harrison Duff at 5:33. Then there were a series of penalties after that. Of course, the big fight of the first period was between Vaughn, Eamon, Stasiuk, and Flaman. But basically, there were only really three in the fight: Vaughn, Stasiuk, and Flaman. Vaughn fought the two of them, and just prior to the start of the fight, Harris was clipped on the jaw by Stasiuk, who let go a beautiful right hand. Harris went down as if he had been poleaxed, but he got up quickly, but he didn't have a chance to get in the fight as Vaughn took over for him, and he handled fairly evenly, with both getting in good punches, both Flaman and Stasiuk in turn, and sometimes the two of them together. It threatened to break out into a regular free-for-all. It spread into the crowd, where there were fights in various parts of the Boston Garden here, but they seemed to keep those fights in the crowd fairly well under control. They broke out in the corner and at the back of the Boston bench. Then when the two teams were just about ready to leave the ice at the end of the first period, a near free-for-all started in front of the Maple Leaf net, with McKell and Vaughn and a few others being right around there, ready to go at it again, but they cooled out just in time. So the first period ended a 1-1 tie. The Leafs outshot Boston 10-5. There were 10 penalties, 5 apiece, although Morrison also got a 10-minute misconduct as a result of shooting the puck against the boards. And now Wes and Gordie Howe.
Well, here we have with us in the Boston Garden in an impromptu sort of intermission, one of the all-time greats of hockey, the outstanding star of the Detroit Red Wings, Gordie Howe. Gordie, what do you think of that play up till now?
Well, first of all, thank you. A fine compliment. But the only thing I can say, like I said before, those penalties, you know, I think they hurt to a game to a certain extent because it hinders an individual's play when they have to play it nice and cozy and fight off those 2 minutes. But I'd say the fellow who's not feeling too cozy right now would be Don Simmons. I was talking to Don over in Toronto, and he told me he wasn't feeling that well, although he will be pressing the service, has something radically wrong with Mr. Lumley. And he said, like he said, it's nervous watching. He said, but if I had to go into a game now at a crucial point, he said, I think I'd die. So I'm feeling for Don Simmons and Lum right now.
I think perhaps Lumley will be back, though, don't you?
Oh, the old fire horse and competitor, he'll be back. He could lose half a lip and still be back up there.
That was quite a shot. It bounced off his chest and right up onto his mouth, wasn't it?
Yes, so one of those quick plays where the puck come up from Harry's left out to Dick Duff, and he took a backhander high and for that upper corner, and it was labeled, but Lum got over, took it off the chest, and then it went up into the face.
Just before that, I thought that Lumley made perhaps one of the key saves of the game, didn't you?
Definitely so. He come up with a real big save, and he's been doing that the whole series. All the games I've seen, all the games I've heard about, he's been doing just that. He's the Harry Lumley of old, let's put it that way.
That's right. Well, you were a teammate of his for a good many years. He's still a great goaltender, isn't he?
Yes, and he held us in fat in our pocketbook in the earlier parts of my career, too.
That's right. You had a rough time this year, though, eh?
Yes, when you speak of this year, you don't speak of any pocketbook. We lost out as far as prestige goes and money. We lost that. But you can take our word for it. When I say our, I mean the Detroit organization that will be in there fighting not only for ourselves, but for our home fans next year.
I know you will, Gord. You play 100% all the time, and it seems rather strange to see the Detroit Red Wings out of the playoff picture because they've been in it for so many years, along with Canadians and Maple Leafs and the Boston Bruins. How do you think this game will go tonight?
Well, it's hard to say. Toronto, of course, got the legs. Boston's got the injury, although that offsets by the fact that Boston are at home. And these two clubs make a habit of playing in overtime, so I'd say I'd look forward to a real tight game. However, I can't really guess because every prediction I've made has been come out wrong, so I just better be quiet about it all.
Okay, we'll have with us a little later on, Gordie. And now here's Foster Hewitt with another guest.
Well, my first guest here is Tom Foley, who has been very close to the Canadian-Chicago series just over. Tom, you've had a chance to get acclimatized here in Boston. How does it compare with some of the play you saw in that Chicago-Canadian series?
Well, firstly, I feel a little neglected, Foster, because I've been here for an entire period plus 2 minutes and nobody's thrown a bunch of stuff at me, and they certainly did in Chicago. I don't think they were throwing it at me, but they seem to have bad arms in Chicago in both baseball and hockey, and they were aiming at Red Story and at Jock Plon, and a few of them were hitting me. Basically, the goaltenders haven't been as busy in the action I've seen so far tonight as they were in the Chicago-Montreal series, where it seemed to be a little more freewheeling and wide open and some five-man ganging attacks and quite a bit of pressure.
Well, I think this game has been different from any other in the series, as a matter of fact, in that respect, because certainly Lumley and Bauer have been sensational up until now, and of course they haven't been quite as busy, as you mentioned. I think the forwards and the defenses have taken over more or less in this game so far.
Well, Lumley being a little busier than he would have liked to have been, I guess, with that save. That was a brilliant save that put him out.
It sure was, but you could see that it hit him right in the face.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how he stayed in there as long as he did before he realized that he was hurt.
I might say, as far as this series is concerned, we both started on the 24th of last month. You haven't eliminated anybody yet, and we've eliminated one whole hockey club and one referee.
That's right. Well, Eddie Powers, of course, as you know, is here taking the place of Red Story. That was a very unusual and perhaps unfortunate situation, don't you think?
Well, anytime you lose a man like Red Story, it's certainly unfortunate. This was a rough night in Chicago, a tough night for any official, and the crowd, I thought, was a little bit inflamed right from the start.
Well, as a matter of fact, Tom, if you stick around here for a little while longer, I think you'll find that a few things can be thrown here, so don't be too worried about that. And now, back to Wes and Ed Chadwick.
Here in our cramped quarters in the Boston Garden, our next guest is Maple Leaf goaltender Ed Chadwick. Ed, how do you feel?
Oh, it's pretty tense up here, Wes. I shouldn't be playing.
I bet you'd rather be down there in the net.
Yeah, I think I feel the tension more than the boys do.
I'll bet you do. Are you going to lose some weight up here, do you think?
Oh, I won't lose any weight, but I'm going to lose a little sleep, maybe. That's about all.
What do you think of the game so far?
Well, it's been a good game, Wes. The one that hit Lumley in the face there was going in the net, and it might have been a different story, but Lum was in the way, so I hope they come from here in.
Gordy Howe and I were just talking about a save I thought that Lum made just about a minute before he got hit in the face with that puck. I thought it was a key save.
On Dickie Duff.
That's the
Yeah,
one.
he made a wonderful save there. He's made great saves all through the series. I think he's been the big thing. If they had Lum wasn't so sharp, I think we would have been all over for us right now.
I mean, he wouldn't be here in Boston
That's
tonight.
right. We'd be in Montreal.
That's right. A chap down by the name of Johnny Bauer is doing a pretty good job at the other end.
He sure is. He sure is. He's playing wonderful for us.
And how do you think the game will go now?
Well, I don't know, Wes. I just hope we're flying. No, I hope we're flying to Montreal. That's all I'll say. I hope we'll win.
To leave right after the game?
Yeah, it's either Toronto or Montreal, and I hope it's Montreal.
Okay. Now, any outstanding plays you might pick out in the first period and start of the second?
Well, just the one save that Lum made on Dickie there in the start of the second was a beautiful save. And I think there was a good fight there. I think Bobby Vaughn got a few good punches in there.
Davey got a couple of one punches in, though. He
had Harris, and Harris wasn't looking.
That's right. Yeah. Harris was turned the other way. All right. Now, tell me, sitting up here in the stands, do you watch the goaltenders chiefly, or do you watch the whole game as a whole?
I watch the whole game, yeah. I watch the goalkeepers, too. Wes, these are two experienced goalkeepers, and maybe I can learn something from watching them. And Lum's been around a long time, and Johnny's played a lot in the American League, and they're both professionals and both good goalkeepers. Maybe if I watch them closely, I might be able to learn something.
I don't think you have to learn too much. I think it's just the luck of the draw that Johnny's down there and not you. We're glad to see Johnny doing a great job. I know if you get the opportunity and get in there too, Ed, that you will also do a tremendous job. What did you think of the Canadian-Chicago series? Did it go the way you thought it might go?
Yes, I thought the Canadians would win it, but I thought it might only go 5 games, but I was out by 1. That one last Saturday night was quite a game. I got home in time to watch about the last 5 minutes. It's quite rugged in Chicago, I'll tell you.
Do you think that did you think that the Leafs would stretch this to 7 games after they had lost the first 2?
No, I thought maybe that we would go. I thought it would go 7, but I thought that when we got up there at 3 that we would end it last Saturday. But that's just the pace of the game. We came back from 2-goal deficits every time, and I thought maybe that since we didn't have it, we'd probably win in overtime, but it didn't go that way for us.
Did you think that the Leafs played as well Saturday night as they have in some of the other games in this series?
No, I don't think so, Wes. They didn't play a good game. They played a fair, not a bad game, but if we were playing a good game, we would have won it, because we almost won it playing a bad game.
That's right. I thought they let down sort of momentarily in that second period, and the Bruins sort of took over for a time.
That's well, we got off to a bad start. They're up 2 goals on us, West, and we dug away until we got that back. Then we let down again, and we're 2 more goals back. Then we dug back, and by that time they got another one, and the time was running out on us. So.
Well, Harry Lumley now is out getting repairs. He'll be back in action very soon. How does it affect a goalie when he gets shaken up like that, has to go in for stitches, and then come back out on the ice?
Well, it's pretty tough, Wes, but I think after the first shot on Harry, he'll be all right again. I don't know whereabouts it got him. I think it's around the bottom lip there somewhere, but I think he'll be all right.
Okay, thanks a lot, Ed Chadwick. And now here's Foster with another guest.
Thank you, Wes.
Well, my next guest is a real old-timer in a hockey way, Johnny Gagnon of the Montreal Canadiens of more or less yesterday. Johnny, how many years does it go back when you played for the Canadiens with Howie Morenz and
Red Joliet.
and Joliet on the left wing, wasn't he? You were right wing.
I was right winger, and Howie was center, and Red was left.
That's right. That was a terrific line.
Well, that's what they say about it.
Well, I should say it was. Now, that's going back quite a few years.
Well, I started with them in 1930, and I finished with 1940.
Well, now tell me, are you still keeping your interest in hockey?
Yes, Foster, I'm scouting for New York Rangers.
Why, that's treason, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you something. I'm very surprised to see you with us for the playoff spot, but, you know, you can't blame anybody else but the Rangers.
I see. Well, now, have you been able to get your eyes on a few of those big ones that they're trying to pick up in the league?
Well, Foster, I'm going to tell you about hockey players today, you know. I mean, you have to develop them just like Toronto is doing it with their farm club, you know. I mean, if they turn to be all right, good luck for New York Rangers.
That's
Instead of
right.
Toronto.
Well, now tell me, as a scout, do you find that the players are scarce, or is the crop just as good as it used to be?
No, I think they're scared, Foster. You know why? Because it's too much hockey, and the kids today, you know, I mean, they don't want to play hockey. I think they want education. And after that, they get education. If they're not good enough to play hockey in the big league, they go for education.
Of course, I think there are many counter attractions, and that possibly, the way we live today with so many extras and things, that takes away from youngsters' interest, don't you think?
That's right, Foster.
But on this hockey subject now, what do you think of this, the first two periods so far? We haven't had much of the second period yet, but what do you think of it as a hockey game so far?
Well, Foster, you know, I mean, I see Toronto play once this year. It was against New York. And like I see tonight, I think it's everybody's game, you know. I mean, the break is any shot. If it's a good shot, it get in there. It's going to be if it's for Bruins, it's going to be for the Bruins. It's going to be for Toronto. It's going to be for Toronto. But it's so close. I can say who's going to win, and I don't care who's going to win because I'm neutral.
I see. Well, now that one that Lumley stopped, while it was unfortunate for himself, of course, and that he was injured, but he was rather fortunate to get in front of it, wasn't he?
That's right, Foster, and he make a good stop. And the only thing is, Bauer make a good stop on the top of on the breakaway. You remember that the first period, when Topper breakaway, the score was 1-0 for the Bruins. And Topper break all along with Bauer, and Bauer didn't make a stop, but Topper shoot wide to the net.
Yeah.
And if Topper didn't score that, if he scored that goal, I think it's going to be tough for Toronto. But you know, I mean, a hocky game today, you have to put in the net to win a ball game.
That's right. Well, they're so evenly matched that the tide could turn either way.
Oh yeah, that's everybody's game tonight. You know, I mean, the one who's going to make a mistake is going to pay for it.
Well, it seems to me, and watching the play tonight in particular, the Leafs seem to be in better physical shape. Would you agree on that?
Yes, and they're younger. I think they're younger than the Boston Bruins. And I never see Toronto play so hard because they prove it, you know, in the end of the season when they come in and make the playoff. You have to be very strong and young and strong to make the playoff. And I think, you know, I mean, if you beat the Bruins tonight, I think you're going to give Boston the Canadians a good battle.
Oh, I think either team that happens to get by in this series is certainly not going to be any pushover, that's for sure.
Oh, no.
And do you think, as a matter of fact, that the Montreal Canadiens are as strong as they were last year?
Yes and no. You know, I mean, yes and no.
Well, that gives you two chances.
Yeah, you know why?
Yeah.
They're just like the New York Yankees, you know, I mean, it can be beat. If you beat them because you have to pick it a hockey.
Of course, I'm thinking more of the fact that Beliveau is out and the Rocket. Now, they both may be in, and we hope they will be. But you can't possibly take two outstanding greats like that out of a lineup without weakening the team, can you?
Well, you know, it's one thing about Morris. He didn't play for quite a while. I don't know if he's going to be in very good shape to play against you guys if you've made it. Sam and Beliveau. Beliveau is only out for about a week. But I'm going to tell you something. They got some good reserves, the Canadians. They get some good hockey players, you know what I mean? And you get a good young club. And you're going to give them a good battle.
Oh, yes. Well, the Canadians have a lot of depth. There's no question about that. And it'll be a great series regardless who gets in there. Don't you think so, Johnny?
I'll tell you about Toronto. It surprised me. tonight, and I didn't see it before, the summoning game before, but it surprised me tonight. They look like champions. If they get beat, they're going to get beat like a champion.
That's right. But we'll resume activities here in a few moments.
Oh, you can't help smiling as you take the wheel, and it's great to share the happy way you feel. Then you turn to the right for a warm hello. There's an oval sign and a man you know. You can trust those products at the Esso sign. You like that Esso service every time. The smile keeps growing as you're homeward bound. The smile from knowing that you now have found. There's a pleasure all its own every time you drive a car that feels so bright and alive. What a great, great feeling, what a wonderful sense of sheer enjoyment and of confidence. More than something you're aware of, your car's been taken care of at the end. So sign of confidence. That's a happy motoring sign.
Robins, balmy weather, and the excitement of Stanley Cup finals are sure marks of spring in Canada. And make a note, the welcome warm weather that's coming means time for a thorough spring changeover, too. See your Imperial Esso dealer soon. Have him get your car ready for carefree summer driving. Always look to Imperial for the best.
We're still waiting for Harry Lumley to reappear on the ice here in the Boston Garden. The Maple Leafs are out practicing, shooting the puck at Johnny Bauer just to keep him warmed up, and a few of the Boston Bruins have been skating. More of them have come on the ice now. And we're keeping another chap very busy here, too, tonight, in Tom Foley, our Ottawa friend, who is the MC of the Hot Stove League down in Montreal for the Montreal Canadiens game. Tom was on the air with Foster at the other end of this long, narrow platform, and now he's up here with me. Tom, any more comments to make?
Well, I think the organist here may get one of the 3 stars because he's been going about 25 minutes, Wes. But I resent this being outnumbered by you Torontonians 2-1. One at a time is tough enough, you know, but when you start throwing them at me 2 at a time, I think that's unfair.
Well, the way the Rough Riders go the last couple of years, it doesn't matter, does it?
Well, they sent 5 guys out to Regina for 1 quarterback, so I guess maybe Ottawa's used to being outnumbered.
Who do you rate getting back to hockey now as the top stars in the game so far, Tom?
Well, I would say Stasiak has been the #1 man. He scored the only Boston goal. He's been very strong out there. He's won both fights he's gotten into, at least on my scorecard. And I would say, secondly, even though he hasn't been awfully busy, I'd have to go for Lum. You know, this is quite a story we're seeing in Harry Lumley in this series. Here's a fellow that was pretty well written out of the major leagues of hockey, and he's back here as one of the top stars in the semifinals.
That's right. I think it recalls the time that Tommy Gorman got Alec Connell out of the fire hall up in Ottawa. And I know he beat the Maple Leafs in 3 straight games, then went on to win the Stanley Cup for the Montreal Maroons.
I also think that this delay could hurt the Leafs more than it hurts the Bruins. I noticed the Leafs have been a little more jittery throughout, well, we're close to a half hour now. They've all been up skating around, moving around. They're younger and they want to get at them. It seems to me the Boston club has been just a little more relaxed and calm about the whole thing.
Would you say that's perhaps because of the more experienced players on the Bruin lineup?
Well, yes, they've been in it. They played the last couple of Stanley Cups, and they're older players, despite the fact that their goaltender is being stitched up. I think they take a thing like this a little more in their stride.
I wonder how it will affect Harry Lumley, who has been playing so tremendously, to have this slap in the face and have to get some stitches on it. And now he was keyed up playing a terrific game before he went out. I wonder how that will affect the goaltender coming back.
It can't help him too much, although after he was hit, he stayed in the nets for at least another minute, and he made another save before he finally left. I think he's quite an old pro, and it may also react on the rest of the Boston club that they'll say we've got to get out there and protect good old Lum because he stopped one with his teeth, and if we'd keep the puck at the other end of the ice, that wouldn't happen.
You know, that quite often happens when they feel a goaltender maybe on the spot, or when they have a rookie in there or a new goaltender. It sometimes makes the team rise up to the occasion, come up with some great defensive play.
I think any injury is liable to do that, Wes. I'm told that the Boston club, to a degree, did that last Saturday when they roared back after several injuries. Morrison was cut, Topazini was hurt. I think the Canadians did that in the series against Chicago when they lost Beliveau. Certainly 3 or 4 of the Canadians played tremendous hockey, better hockey than they had been for the balance of the campaign, and more than made up for the loss of Big John.
Particularly Marcel Bonin.
Well, Bonin, of course, had been hot right from the start. Every time he looked around, he was scoring another goal. But Provo suddenly got hot and started scoring goals. And I thought Harvey became a tremendous take-charge guy. No, he's never bad. That's right. But he was exceptional in the last couple of 3 games against the Chicago Blackhawks. It's just possible that having Big John out of there, and they were saying that he was the key to the hockey club at that stage, made some of the others realize, well, we'll just have to pick up the slack.
It's a great thing, though, when a team can lose players like Beliveau and Richard and still keep on winning and get into the Stanley Cup finals.
They're a pretty deep hockey club. I would say a good sound club going in against them naturally would have a good chance, but I don't think there's another club in the league that could lose 2 goal scorers like that and still have a lot of power left.
That's for sure. Thanks a lot, Tom Foley, and now here's Foster with another guest.
Our next guest is Spiff Evans, the publicity director of Maple Leaf Gardens. Spiff, I understand you were in the dressing room to see Lum. I understand he has 7 stitches in his mouth.
There's a very bad cut up there, Foster. And gosh, could the camera go up there with the Toronto Maple Leafs? See it up there?
Yeah,
that's nice, doesn't it?
Well, that's a long way up.
Foster, Lum has got a very bad cut over his mouth here. I would say about 10 to 15 stitches, and he's a very sick fella right now.
That's right. Do you think they will be able to carry on with Lumley, or do you think there'll be a change?
The doctor couldn't tell me, Foster, at that time.
It's been quite a long delay, of course.
That's right.
Well, now, from a Maple Leaf standpoint, you've been watching this Leaf club really blossom over the season. They've really gone from boys to men in this series. There's no question about that, and a great nucleus for a great team in the future. What about the players that have caught your eye so far in the game at this stage?
This stage, Foster, I'm impressed with Richard Duff. I call him Richard, he calls me Spencer.
A lot of respect.
That's right. I think Richard Duff is going to score the winning goal. Big Frank Mahavlich, terrific. This Maple Leaf team is something that you can't put your finger on it,
No.
Foster. You've seen hockey for a long, long time. But, Foster, this is a club.
It sure is. Well, now, that's right. Thanks, Spencer. And now, Wes and Roger Barry.
Well, we're still waiting for Harry Lumley to make his appearance. We've been informed now that he has 7 stitches in his upper lip as a result of getting hit by that shot. And now we have with us one of the Boston hockey writers, Roger Barry. Roger, what do you think of the game up to now?
Well, it looks like at this point, Wes, like it might be an endurance contest, not only on the part of the players, but maybe on the part of the fans and the rest of us as well. See, it's after 9:30 now. It looks like a long game at least.
Even if it's finished in regulation time.
I would say.
Here, Harry Lumley now is making his appearance. And how do you think this game will go?
I know how I hope it goes, Wes. I think it'll go all the way, right down to the last minute. Beyond that, who knows?
Did you think this series, when it started, would go the full 7 games?
No, truthfully, I didn't. I thought the Bruins would win it in 5 at the most.
the Leafs have been a surprising team even at the end of the season.
They certainly have, and they deserve all the credit in the world for that finish. It was a wonderful finish, and they deserve to be in the playoffs, and they've done a great job all the way through.
And it could be anybody's game tonight here,
Definitely,
too.
certainly could.
That was a tremendous ovation there for Harry Lumley as he made his appearance on the ice. Harry's been playing well.
He has, and I think he should stay around and run for mayor of Boston West because I think he could be elected. He really goes over big with the people here.
Well, it was quite a thing moving in for the injured Don Simmons to come up with the great performance that he has made.
Oh, yeah, everybody likes those Cinderella stories, I think, Wes, and of course, Lum is a great one, considering his age and everything else, and to do the job he's done for the Bruins, he's certainly been a lifesaver for them for 2 years now.
That's right. Last year he came out and did a pretty good job for them, too.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot, Roger Barry. It's nice having you with us. And now here's Foster and Bill Hewitt with a play-by-play of the second period.
Right.
Thanks, Roger.
Lumley, who you see there going to the nets, he's had a warm-up, received a tremendous ovation when he came out on the ice. He has 7 stitches in his mouth. You perhaps can see the way his mouth is all puckered up there from the cut. He stopped a shot with his face. Now we have a fight going on up here somewhere behind us. So they're breaking out at all stages. Fortunately, there hasn't been too much stuff pelted in this direction, but a lot of it's been thrown on the ice earlier in the game. And but the game has been kept under control at all times. It's a hard game to handle, and so far, referee Eddie Powers has been doing a very good job. The teams are at the breaking point, of course, because of the tremendous importance of this 7th and final game in the series. The series stands, of course, 3 games apiece. Boston won the first 2 on Boston ice. Boston 5, Toronto 1. Then they won the second game 4-2. Then they went back to Toronto, and the Leafs won 2 overtime games in succession by identical scores of 3-2. Then came back to Boston and defeated the Boston Bruins 4-1. Then with the Leafs having the odd game and only a 1 win necessary, the Bruins fought back in a free-scoring game and defeated the Toronto Maple Leafs on Toronto ice 5-4 in a torrid struggle. In fact, every game in this series has been hard-fought right from beginning to end. And this game tonight, the 7th, is even more tense than any others in the series, just because, of course, that it means elimination for one team. Lumley, gamely, carrying on after this injury to his mouth. The Bruins have a number of casualties out there, but they seem to be still taking their regular turn, and the Leafs have their share too, and they're carrying on just as if nothing had happened. We've only played 2 minutes and 14 seconds of the second period. It's a 1-1 tie and a real battle if there ever was one. They're fighting it out here in Boston tonight, where it's cloudy and mild, but reasonably cool in the rink, for the right to meet the Montreal Canadiens in the Stanley Cup Finals. Now they're getting ready for the face-off in the Boston zone to the right. Lumley has indicated that he's ready. Morrison is still sitting out his misconduct penalty, but of course there's substitution allowed. And so whether that long delay will hinder or help the 2 teams, it's very hard to say. But both teams have cooled out quite a bit from the tenseness of the first 10 minutes of the first period. And now for the play-by-play, here's Bill Hewitt.
On the face-off, it's McKinney in his own zone, clearing it to Flaman. Flaman ahead to Topazzini, stopped by Stanley. Stanley and Topazzini fight for it. The puck is shot back into the Boston zone again, and it's Moans to McKell. McKell trying to come out, stopped by Olmstead to Pulford. Pulford shoots. Lumley made the save on the short side. It comes back to Horton. Horton takes a shot. Pulford a drive, and the Bruins clear the puck into the corner. Slam it ahead to McKell. McKell, number 8, a quick pass to Topazzini, and Stanley clears it back to the Boston defense. Flaman ridden off by Pulford. Puck was shot into the Leaf zone. Goes to Olmstead. Olmstead in the the corner behind the net. A pass to Pulford. Pulford takes his shot wide. Lumley let it go to the side. Moans, a quick pass ahead to Topazzini. Topazzini up with a pass to McKinney. Stopped by Armstrong of the Leafs. Armstrong gets over the line, number 10, shot wide. Duff let one go. Then Armstrong tried to center to Regan. Regan gets it back to Horton. A shot right in front of the net. Armstrong shot wide. McKell clears to the corner. It's cleared out to Topazzini. Topazzini coming down the ice. Over the line with a shot, and Horton steps in and takes it. Horton over to Regan. Regan up at center with Armstrong. Regan takes his shot, and that hit a leg. Duff then steals the puck for the Leafs. Comes up to the Boston line. Turned off stride. Still has it. Passes over to Armstrong. Armstrong shoots one off Moans over to the far wing. Stasiuk shot, and it deflected off Duff over the glass.
Ever since they started in this second period, the Leafs have had a definite margin in the play. They've been crowding the Boston Bruins and not giving them that much elbow room to get out of their own zone. But it's a game that looks as if the breaks are going to decide it. It's that close.
Armstrong of the Leafs takes the face-off, and Regan is actually the centerman. Duff on the left, but because of Regan's injured hand, he plays on the wing just for the face-offs. From the draw, puck is taken by Armstrong of Boston to Boyven. Boyven to Busick. The pass over to Stasiuk is kept in. Here's Duff's shot. That was wide. On the other side, Bond knocked the puck to Regan. Regan in the corner, trying to center it, is jammed against the boards. The puck is still loose, and they finally hold it. You notice they had their skates on it, but it was bouncing around on the blades, and therefore, Eddie Powers, the referee, didn't blow his whistle until they finally got it against the boards.
Regan has a mauve bandage on his right glove to help protect his broken hand. But despite this handicap, Regan has scored the only Maple Leaf goal. Bruins' goal was scored by Stasiuk. Only two scoring plays, and they're at the 4:35 mark, the second period.
On the face-off, Bond to Harris. Back to Bond. Bond shot it around. It goes to Harris in the corner. He tried to center it out in front. Mahovlich over to Bond. Bond's shot goes to the opposite wing. Harris tried to center it. Harris still has it. Coming in front. And he was knocked down. And McKell comes back for Boston. Up to the Leaf line. Mahovlich ran into the Boston player. Mahovlich goes down the ice. Over the line. Still has the puck. Over to Brewer. Brewer shot. And it stopped in front. It comes back to Bond. He shot wide. Eamon right in front of the net. It comes back to Brewer. Brewer fakes the shot. Cleared it into the corner to Harris. Harris trying to center it. Too well covered. And Levine gets it. He's stopped by Mahovlich, who shot wide. Eamon tries to keep it in, and the Bruins shoot the puck down the ice. Bond goes back for it.
The Boston Bruins are hanging on desperately at this time. You'd almost think the Leafs had landed almost a haymaker and have them groggy on the ropes. The Bruins, with difficulty, get that puck out of their own zone by shooting it down the ice finally. But they've been under continuous pressure since they started in this second period, and the Leafs are trying to keep pouring it on, trying to force this all-important break. It's a 1-all tie.
On the face-off, Reibel goes behind the net. Pass off the boards to McKinney. McKinney to Moans. Moans misses a check from Pulford. Flaman comes up to the Leaf line and over. He's crowded off by Horton. Olmsted clears it to the other wing. It's Reibel getting it to McKinney out in front to Topazzini, and he's fanned on his shot. Moans is bumped by Pulford. Then Olmsted gets the break at center. One man back. Olmsted fakes the shot. Still has it. Tried to pass it in front, and the Bruins come back. Reibel, Topazzini, and McKinney. McKinney. Tapazzini shoots. Bauer caught that and held it for a face-off. A nice save by Bauer.
The Bruins have suddenly taken a new lease on life here. And with Tapazzini, Reibel, and McKinney sparking them, they've started to roll the other way. That's just the way this game is going. First one team having an advantage, and then the other. They've played 6 minutes and 25 seconds of the second period. A 1-1 tie. Stasiuk from Morrison with Mahavlich off, and Regan from Harrison Duff, when Lumley had his penalty served by a Bruin player, Poliziani.
Puck comes back to the blue line. Morrison's shot was stopped. Vaughn of the Leafs clears it out to Duff at center. Duff pokes the puck into the Boston zone, goes after it, centered it right in front. And it's Stasiuk losing it to Regan. Regan in the corner behind the net was jammed into the boards, and the puck goes over the glass.
They're setting a torrid pace, going both ways. They're both trying for that big break. And the reserves are coming over the boards frequently. Here's McHale, who took quite a bump on the last turn, returning to the ice.
Face-off is in the Boston zone to the left. Armstrong, number 10, facing off with McKell of Boston. The puck is dropped. It goes back to the blue line. Vaughn took his shot wide of the corner. Regan faked a pass to the blue line, trying to center it out in front. Then McKell is bumped. Armstrong of the Leafs failed to stop McKell. McKell passed it out to center ice, and back goes Brewer for it as it slides back into the Leafs zone. Brewer, a long pass to Duff, stopped by Boyven. Brewer of the Leafs tries it again. A roll pass to Regan. Regan goes over the line with Duff. Regan still has it. Back to Brewer, a shot. That hit the glass. Vaughn to Duff. Duff centered it out in front. Armstrong of the Leafs takes a backhand shot. Boyven slapped it to the other side. Boyven, Vaughn, number 21, hit the post. As Lumley just got a piece of it in time, it went off the post.
That was the closest call of all, when Lumley just got his foot in the way of that driving shot from Vaughn. But Regan just seemed to lift that line of Armstrong and Duff every time he gets out there. We understand that Lumley had 7 stitches in his mouth. He lost 2 teeth, one his own and a false one, which broke off and they had to pull it.
A shot right on, hit the side of the net again. Harris trying to get it from Gendron. Rolls out and out to center ice. Stanley to Mahavlich. Mahavlich turns, comes over the line, going around the defense, still has it. Back to Horton, and it hopped over his stick and went down the ice. There's a race for the puck. Bauer came out of his net. The puck goes to Levine, a shot. Oh, and he missed the open corner. And Harris rolled the puck out to center ice. It's Flaman to Gendron. Gendron's over the line, a shot. Bauer tipped that with his stick, and it went over the glass.
Bauer was nearly caught out of his net as he went after a puck near the boards, and in trying to clear it, it hit the Bruin player, and they had quite a chance there before he could get back in his net again.
From the face-off, the Leafs have the draw. Harris starting to come out up the center where he's stopped by Leach. Leach then cleared the puck back into the Leaf zone, and Horton has it. Horton gets away from Leach. Coming down the right wing with a pass to Eamon at center. It bounces past him, and Flaman gives it to Levine. It's stopped by Mahavlich, and he just failed to get away. Here's Eamon getting a chance with a shot that hit Flaman. Flaman, then Moans is stopped by Harris, and they hold the puck at the side of the Boston goal.
The ice is still in good shape, although there are a few wet spots starting to show up, particularly down to the left in the Maple Leaf end, where the freezing apparently isn't quite as good as at the other part of the rink. They're nearing the 9-minute mark, second period.
Score is tied, 1-1. The puck is behind the Boston goal, and McKell, number 8, Misses Pulford. A pass to Tapazzini with McKinney. They're up over the line. Tapazzini waits. He's checked by Pulford. Stewart off the boards to Pulford. Stopped by Boyven. McKell brought the puck in, but it went over the glass as he flipped at it. And that's a face-off.
The two teams are at the full throttle now, and they're just almost at the breaking point.
Score is tied 1-1. Olmsted failed to get out. Brewer over to Bond. Bond just shot the puck to center. Boyven clearing it back, and Bond goes back for it. Bond of the Leafs kicks at the puck, holds it against the boards for a face-off. Face-off now in the Maple Leaf zone to the right. Score is tied 1-1. Lining up for the face-off. It's dropped, but Stewart was way offside. And they'll do it all over again. Referee Eddie Powers in the circle there. Linesman watching from the blue line. The puck rolls back to the blue line. Morrison's shot was stopped by Bond. Cleared out to Olmsted. He and Pulford over the line, and it's offside as Pulford went in over the blue line in advance of the puck carrier. Pulford, Stewart, Olmsted, Bond, and Brewer. Now then, Horvath comes out with Stasiuk and Busick. Flaman is playing on the defense, and out comes Moans. From the face-off, Stasiuk brings the puck out to center. Shot it the rest of the way into the Maple Leaf zone, and Bond is back for it. Bond is stopped by Busick. They try to center it. Moans is stopped by Olmsted, and Pulford gets a break with Stewart. They're going over the line. Pulford fakes the shot, lets it go right on. Moans failed to clear it. Pulford tried to center it. Moans tried to get it out. Bond kept it in. Pulford being watched by Flaman. Stasiuk is stopped. Puck is behind the Boston net. Moans has it. Cleared it off the boards to Stasiuk. Out to Busick. Busick gets over the line. Is knocked off stride. Bond tried to get it out. Here's Horvath with Stasiuk. They're going right in. And Horvath just failed to get to it. And the puck is shot down the ice by the Leafs. And it's going over the red line. A great try by Boston that just failed to click.
This youth line is the most dangerous line the Bruins have out there tonight, with Stasiuk running wild on that right wing. They pulled off another nice play there that was a close call for the Leafs. But Bauer came to the rescue. So 1-1 tie as they near the 11-minute mark in this desperate struggle, the 7th and final game in the series.
From the face-off, Armstrong, Regan, and Duff start to head up to the blue line. They get to center. Armstrong tried to go through. Moan stopped him. Horton of the Leafs gets it over to Stanley. Stanley over the checkered line, lets the long shot go. It bounces right out in front of the net, and Flaman came back to cover up. Flaman a pass, stopped by Regan, and it's offside.
This Regan was slashed there, then Flaman
start to bump one another.
Flaman and Armstrong, the Leaf captain, nearly had a set-to there as Regan was slashed on his bad hand, and Armstrong took exception to it, and Regan was right there too. He's talking to Flaman now at close quarters. Regan has added an awful lot of power to the Leaf line with Duff and Armstrong. He can skate, and he seems to have the happy knack of shaking loose an opening for his wings. But he was slashed there right on the arm, and that's what the rumpus started about. And so the Leafs make a change of players, which is good strategy because they were getting a bit hot-headed there, both teams. And a penalty at this stage of the game could be disastrous.
From the face-off, Levine gets a hold of that puck for the Bruins, rolls it out. Mahavlich of the Leafs misses a check from Boyven. Morrison covers up for the Bruins, clears it out to Gendron. Gendron and Levine going down together. Levine's over the line, trying to get his shot. He's stopped, gets it back. Harris of the Leafs comes up with it at center ice. Still has it. Gets over the line. Mahavlich over to Eamon. He's going ready. He shoots. Oh, what a great save. Eamon shoots again. And a great save. Harris trying to center the puck, and they hold it for a face-off.
Eamon was right in there twice. And Lumley made two dazzling saves on the Leaf player, the right winger, who has been the trigger man for the Leafs. He was right in on top of Lumley twice, and Lumley stopped both shots from close in. It was just on the outside of the goal crease. So you can see how close it is.
Score is tied 1-1. Puck is behind the Boston goal, and Tapazzini's coming down the ice for Boston. To center ice, over the line. Harris broke it up, ahead to Mahavlich. Mahavlich is spun around. And the Bruins lose it. Harris just failing to get loose. McKinney, a roll pass to Tapazzini. Brewer rolled it out. It was knocked down by a high stick. And play is called. Harris knocking the puck down with a high stick.
They've played 12 minutes and 9 seconds of this grueling second period. It's still a tie score, 1-1. Stasiuk from Morrison at 1:11 of the first period. Regan from Harris and Duff at 5:33. Each goal was scored with the opposition shorthanded.
Horton of the Leafs tried to get loose. McHale fell. Gets up, but Pulford of the Leafs stole the puck, shot it into the Boston zone. Lumley comes out to stop it. Boyven, a cleared pass that Tapazzini failed to hang on to. It's Tapazzini in the corner, just clearing it out to center. Horton of the Leafs gets the puck into the Boston zone. Morrison trying to get out. He's jammed into the boards, and the puck goes to center. Horton's pass is intercepted by McHale. McHale to McKinney, and McKinney just failed to get his shot. Puck is held against the boards in the Maple Leaf zone to the right.
The reserves still coming over the boards. The Bruins the first to change, and now the Leafs. And they have 7 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in this hard-fought second period of play. Each team shooting the works here to try to break this 1-1 tie.
It's Pulford, replaced by Regan. Bond is on the defense with Brewer, Armstrong, Regan, and Duff for the Leafs. Bond got the puck into the Boston zone. Number 6 is Horvath. Horvath of Boston ahead to Stasiuk, way too far. As you can see, he was well over the blue line when the pass arrived. So they go back to the checkered line and on the Boston side. It's Horvath, Busick, and Stasiuk. Flaman and Moans facing Regan, Duff, and Armstrong, Brewer, and Bond. Flaman cleared the puck out. Horvath's pass intercepted by Duff, who ran into Busick. Stasiuk cleared a pass that went back to center. It's Busick up over the line, knocked off stride. Bond of the Leafs cleared the puck, but not out. A shot by Horvath goes to Brewer. Brewer of the Leafs, a cleared pass to Duff. Duff still has it. Coming out with a pass to Armstrong. Back to Duff. He's closing in, goes to the corner. Centered it out in front. It comes back to Brewer. Brewer over to Regan. Regan kicks the puck into the corner. Flaman is jammed in there. Regan trying to get it out. Horvath clears to Busick. Armstrong of the Leafs broke that up. Horvath clears a pass out to center ice. And the Leafs try to get it back. Busick knocked down by Armstrong. And Regan of the Leafs comes back over the line, takes a shot, back to Armstrong, a shot. A nice save by Lovely. It's Brewer from the other side, a shot. Oh, that just deflected wide. And Lovely comes out of the net to cover up. The Leafs are coming closer and closer. That time, Armstrong deflected a shot, and it went right over the top of the net on the open side. Lumley was beaten on the drive, but it went right over the net. He just stands there, tired, but in there fighting, just like all the rest of them out there. Ready for the face-off. The puck is dropped. It goes to the boards. Cleared out. It's Boyman going after it. Boyman going down, going into the shot. Score! Boyman pulled his way right down the ice and beat Bauer on a key goal to give the Bruins the lead for the second time in the game. Leo Boyman made a beautiful rush. The crowd have thrown about everything on the ice, and that goal came at a time when the Leafs were threatening to take the lead. They had far more scoring chances than the Bruins, but Boyman just hurtled down the ice in spectacular fashion and went right through and fired a shot past Bauer. It was a brilliant effort by the Bruin defense player. It was Boyman unassisted. There was no question about that. End-to-end for Boyman. 14:33. Boston lead 2-1 now. From the face-off, it goes back to the Boston blue line. It's cleared, and Mahovlich of the Leafs gets it. Mahovlich up over the line. It's offside. And the face-off will be outside the Boston blue line. Ready for the face-off. The puck is dropped. It goes to the boards. Cleared out. It's Boyman going after it. Boyman going down, going into the shot. Score! Boyman pulled his way right down the ice and beat Bauer on a key goal to give the Bruins the lead for the second time in the game. Leo Boyman made a beautiful rush. The crowd have thrown about everything on the ice, and that goal came at a time when the Leafs were threatening to take the lead. They had far more scoring chances than the Bruins, but Boyman just hurtled down the ice in spectacular fashion and went right through and fired a shot past Bauer. It was a brilliant effort by the Bruin defense player. .33. It was Boyman unassisted. There was no question about that. End-to-end for Boyman. 14:33. Boston lead 2-1 now. From the face-off, it goes back to the Boston blue line. It's cleared, and Mahovlich of the Leafs gets it. Mahovlich up over the line. It's offside. And the face-off will be outside the Boston blue line. 5 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in the second period. 2-1 in favor of Boston. It's the Bruins now in possession. Turning around. Harris watching his man. McKinney Over the Leaf line, stopped by Mahavlich, and Horton has it. Horton back for the Leafs. Shoots the puck into the Boston zone. Boyven goes back for it. He's jammed into the boards by Harris, and Topazzini has it. Topazzini to Boyven. Boyven up at center, knocked down. Two players went down, and the puck goes back to the Boston defense. It's Morrison falling down, but McKell has it. McKell now up with a pass to McKinney, and Stanley gets it. Stanley over to Mahavlich. A pass just failed to reach Harris, and Boyven gets it to McKell. McKell to McKinney. Right on goal, he shoots another shot, and Harris gets back to cover up. Harris out at center ice. Coming up over the line, a drop pass for Stanley. Topazzini breaks it up. A pass to McKinney on the right. McKinney passed it right in front to McKell, and he shot wide. The Leafs with Horton trying to knock it out. Topazzini gets it, shoots the puck back into the Maple Leaf zone. Stanley's back for it. Stanley off the boards to Mahavlich. He's checked. Mahavlich rolls it to the blue line. Stewart has it. Ahead to Pulford. Too far, and Flaman gets it. Flaman comes over the line with a pass, and it's offside. That goal by the Bruins, Boyven, his first of the series, has given the Boston Bruins a tremendous lift, and they were flying going in on the Leaf defense and pouring in on Bauer. The Leafs fighting, though, to hold them off at this stage after having the better of the early part of the period. From the face-off, Horvath gets his shot. Bauer took that one off to the side. It comes back to Horvath again, a shot, and Brewer has it. Brewer still with it. Flipped into Olmstead. Olmstead gets it out over the line. Busick is bumped, and Horvath gets it. Horvath comes over the Leaf line, trying to get a shot. Too well covered, and Stewart of the Leafs comes down with Olmstead over the line. Stewart's shot was stopped. Stewart tried to roll it in front, and Lumley covers up at the side of the net. The Leafs have had to withstand a tremendous drive by the rejuvenated Bruins since they scored that goal, Boyven getting it unassisted, and they've had a few very close calls around that Maple Leaf net. That last play was the first time they've tested Lumley in about 3 minutes. They have 3 minutes to go in the second period. 2-1 for Boston. From the face-off, the puck is behind the Boston goal. Cleared out on the wing, the Bruins with Gendron flipping it down the ice, and Stanley goes back for it for the Leafs. Stanley ahead to Horton. Up to center. Horton goes over the line, and then he's knocked down. Regan over to Stanley. Stanley shoots the puck in around off the glass. Boyven runs into Armstrong. Leach of the Bruins cleared it off on the board. Stanley stopped it, but Leach gets it. Leach ahead to Gendron, and the puck goes to the corner. He rolled it out in front. Levine of the Bruins passing it to Leach. It's Levine stopped by Armstrong of the Leafs, number 10. He hands it right back to Leach. Leach gets set with a shot right on. They're trying to center it out in front, and Regan of the Leafs gets it. Dick handling out to center ice. Still has it. Back to Horton. Horton takes his shot. Steered by Lumley off to the side. Duff stole it from Levine, but Morrison takes it. Morrison, a pass. Stopped by Armstrong of the Leafs. He's going in with a shot. Oh, and a great save by Lumley on that shot. Puck is held against the boards for a faceoff. Armstrong of the Leafs captain, had that one labeled. He let a sizzler go at Lumley. It was a rising shot to the top right-hand corner, and Lumley played it perfectly. Bruins lead 2-1. Greatly encouraged by that goal by Boyven, and they have 1 minute and 32 seconds left in the second period. Puck is behind the Boston goal. McKenny back to McKell, who's behind the net. McKell slowly trying to get it out. Harris is the least blocks it. Harris to Eamon. It goes to the corner. Harris tried to get a hold of it. McKenny of Boston has it. He's stopped by Mahovlich. Back to Brewer. Back to Harris. Harris comes up to the Boston line, and Flaman took it away from him. Flaman comes down for the Bruins over the line. Up past the Topazzini. A shot went across the goal mouth, and Mahovlich gets a break. The lead player going to center, up over the Boston line. Still has it. Tried to pass it to Eamon. Mahovlich cleared it behind the net. Harris was knocked into the mesh by Flaman, and Flaman gets it ahead to McKell. 2-1 for the Bruins. McKell misses a body check. Mahovlich took it away from him. Eamon knocks it loose. Gets the puck out to Mahovlich. Over to Harris. It hopped off his stick. Harris ahead to Brewer. Brewer takes his shot. Lumley stopped it. Stewart right in front to Mahovlich. Mahovlich back to Brewer. His shot. That went high. Stewart is knocked into the net. The puck goes loose. They bang at it twice. And the Bruins get a hold of it. 10 seconds. Topazzini over the line. Chased over to the boards. Got it behind the Leaf net. And Brewer gets it with 2 seconds left. Brewer got it down the ice. And Lumley stopped it as the bell goes to end the second period. It was a 1-all tie at the end of the first period. Boyven assisted at 14:33 of the second. The Boston Bruins now lead by a score of 2-1. And so at the end of the second period, Boston 2, Toronto Maple Leafs 1. And this 7th game in the semifinal series between Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs is being brought to you direct from Boston Garden by Imperial Esso dealers and agents from coast to coast in Canada.
Well, right across Canada, the time has come to get ready for fine weather ahead. Now, your Imperial Esso dealer is ready now to change your car over to the summer lubricants it needs. And he'll do more than that. He'll give your car a thorough checkup from end to end while he's at it. He'll make sure everything's as it should be. So take your car in soon to your Imperial Esso dealer. When you drive out, you'll have the confidence of knowing that your car is ready and willing. You and your family can take to the open highway just as soon as the weather tempts you. More motorists than ever this year will be getting their changeover service at Imperial stations because they found out for themselves that you can always look to Imperial for the best.
And now for our first guest in this first regular intermission, we have Gordie Howe, the Detroit Red Wing star. Gordie, that was a terrific period of hockey.
It sure was. I don't know if the boys can keep up that pace or not, because it was fantastic how they come out after Harry had received that injury, and the boys are out there flying. They're really moving around that ice. I know, as a player you watch, you know, it kind of makes you tired.
Well, I believe that Harry lost one of his own teeth and a false tooth and had 7 stitches in the lip. But he came up with a terrific performance, didn't he?
Oh, he always would. I'm glad. You know, I say I never go out on the end of the rope for any predictions, but I just comment on the fact that earlier, if Lumley had any part of that lip left, he'll be out there, and I guess that's about it. He took a tremendous cut on the upper lip, required 7 stitches. And also, he had to go through the agony of having a tooth pulled, something which I don't relish too much.
I don't think anybody does. But I thought perhaps after he came back there, he held the team up, and then they really turned it on. I guess they figured, well, if Lum's going to keep them out, we're going to go all out, and they put up a terrific display after that.
Oh, definitely. Well, the way I seen the game, and naturally everybody did, when they first come out, they're shooting everything they could at Lum, and Toronto had much better to play, and then Lum held them in there, as you said, and it just seemed that the rest of the Boston players caught fire then and there. As the period ended, they're definitely carrying the bad edge of the play here.
Would you say perhaps the Bruins had an edge in that period?
I really don't know. I forget what the shots on net were, but I will say one thing, that the Bruins had about 7 real good chances, and so did Toronto. So I don't know. They, especially in the first 10 minutes, I thought where Harry held them in, he kicked out about 3 or 4 sure goals.
Well, it so often goes that way. The Leafs have plenty of chances there for a stretch of about 2 or 3 minutes, and when they don't get one, when they get all those opportunities, they don't keep coming, do they?
Well, over the years, we found out, too, where you'd had a series of 3 or 4 real fine shots, possibly knock one off a goal post. They could get possession, go right down scoring you. That's happened many and many a time.
Well, that's the way it worked there. Thanks a lot, Gordy. We'll hear from you later. And now here's Foster Hewitt with another guest.
Our first guest during this intermission is Eddie Shore, who is possibly Mr. Hockey himself. And Eddie, of course, you almost owned this Boston Garden, I know, a number of years ago. I recall seeing you play in many a playoff game here in which you just seemed to have the fans just at your fingertips.
Well, I was very fortunate and very lucky to be with the Bruins, and possibly if I wasn't with them, I wouldn't have been with anybody. I likely wouldn't have been good enough.
Well, now tell me, Eddie, you are the president of the Springfield Club, I understand.
And owner.
What I'd like to know is that we know what caliber there is in the NHL. It's supposed to be the top, and I'm quite sure it is. How close is the gap between the NHL and the American League? Is it getting any closer as to player ability?
Yes, I would say so. To prove the point is that boy Eamon that you have here with Toronto.
Yeah, I thought you'd come around to that.
He's, I would say, as good as anybody on the ice tonight that I have seen. Maybe I'm a little prejudiced, but I don't think so. He's done a terrific job, and in the stretch, I think that he was as much responsible for you folks getting in as anybody else. He come up with those tough, close game goals, and those are the ones that paid off.
He's been the trigger man, all right.
Yes.
Well, now he attributes you, or gives you credit for this snapshot that he's developed. Tell us, what is the secret?
Well, if you watch his top hand, the secret of shooting, in whether you're a forward or a defenseman, is your top hand. Most people turn the hand so that the back of the hand is facing to the wall. It should be facing to the top. And if you watch Jerry, when he lets go, his hands are about like that. So he's got all the power that any man can get and should have. And that is why he can let him go in a hurry. His both hands go together. The right hand just a slight bit faster than the... I'm right-handed, so it'd be my right hand going just a slight faster forward than my left hand. And the puck is always back in line with him, or just in front of his feet, so that he is watching the puck out of the corner of his eye and can see the spots that he's going to shoot at. Most boys, unfortunately, look down when they're going to shoot instead of looking ahead. Past the goaltender.
He's been a good pupil anyway, Eddie. Thank you so much for coming. Eddie Shore, and now Wes McKnight.
Thank you very kindly.
And we have with us now the president of the National Hockey League, Clarence Campbell. Clarence, that was quite a period of hockey.
That was really wonderful. That was first-class playoff hockey. Best, you can't improve on that.
That's right. As a matter of fact, both series have been tremendous, haven't they?
Yes, well, this is the first game I've seen of this series. I've been in the other series all the way along.
Well, that was a great series.
It was a very good series indeed.
Now, I know you're going to know what I'm going to ask you now. Red Story, I understand, quit as a NHL referee today. Would you tell us just what it's all about?
Well, I guess he did quit. As far as I know, he certainly didn't say anything to me about it, but apparently he called in a couple of newspaper men sometime around noon today and told them that he was going to quit, and then sometime later advised the referee-in-chief he was going home. So,
was he to referee tonight's game?
He was scheduled to work tonight's game, and we had a long session last night, or when I say a long session, an interview with him for, I would say, upwards of an hour, all based on his operating here tonight, next week, and from here on.
Well, if he does stick to his decision to quit, it'll be a loss, won't it, to the...
No question about that. It'll be a really serious loss to the staff, and I'll be very, very sorry if he decides to stick with his decision.
So it might be only temporary then?
Well, I haven't any idea. Of course, it's his decision, not mine. He didn't consult anybody. He didn't discuss it with anybody. As far as I know, that is certainly nobody in an official position, and he just announced that he was to the press that he was going to quit and told the referee-in-chief he's going home, and that's all I know about it.
So then you don't know why or anything else then?
Well, only by what I read in the paper. Certainly, he has made, I believe he made a pretty full statement.
Was it because something that you had said about him in a press interview?
Yes, he did. He said that it was based on a lack of backing, support from the league, and that he thought that he was no condition to carry on under the circumstances.
What will you do now for referees? Will you continue with just the two of them for the remainder?
Well, as far as I know, they are the persons that were selected to work in the series, and I assume they will. And we have the other officials who are available standing by.
But you'll more or less alternate the two possibly in the finals. Is that it?
Well, I can't say right straight off, but I would think so. That's the only alternative that I know.
Clarence, with those tremendous crowds in Chicago, I guess this has been one of the most successful playoff series so far.
Oh, yes. Depending, of course, on the number of games, that's what influences. We have normally we have about 15, 16 games, and this time, of course, no matter what happens, it can't be less than 17. So, attendance-wise, it might even match 1950 or 51 was it when we went to 19 games. But, of course, attendance has been tremendous.
Isn't it nice to see Chicago back there with those 17,000 fans again?
That's the tragedy of the affair, so far as I was concerned on Saturday night, was that after all the effort that had been put into building Chicago up to that stage, was that it should end in a sort of a fiasco to have the season terminate there after such a tremendous recovery, and I really felt sick about it.
That'll all be forgotten by the time next season's opened up there.
I sincerely hope so. I would have felt much better about it if we could have gone through the season, or at least finished the season there in a really satisfactory manner. I don't think the result mattered at all.
No.
But what I did think it was important that we not quit on a sour note.
Okay, thanks a lot. That was Clarence Campbell, the president of the NHL. And now here's Foster with another guest.
My next guest is Bill Azanicki, who was a great hockey player, very prominent in the body checking department. And now Bill has turned to golf. I understand, Bill, that you made the comment a while ago that you perhaps gave up hockey a little early. You thought you might have had a few more years. Is that right?
Well, I think I did, Foster. I had to choose between the two, and I perhaps did let hockey go just a little too soon. After watching the game tonight, it would feel good to have the skates on again.
Well, what about the body checking department? Now, that's one thing you seem to hold down very well in the old days on the forward line. I haven't noticed too much body checking on the forward line tonight. Have you?
No, not too much, Foster. The defensemen are certainly taking their men out, and Toronto are certainly playing man-for-man hockey. But as far as heavy body checking, there doesn't seem to be as much today.
That's right. Well, now, as an old Maple Leaf fan and hockey player, of course, what do you think of this Maple Leaf team, this edition this year?
Well, I think it's a wonderful club. They're certainly skating, and they're very hungry players, hungry to win. I guess they're thrilled in playing in their first Stanley Cup playoff, many of them, and they're certainly trying to do a job of beating the Boston Bruins.
Well, it's certainly close, and the breaks are going to decide it, that's for sure, don't you think?
I think so, Foster. Actually, the tide just seems to change when you think that the Boston team is hanging on the ropes. The Toronto team seemed to have the puck bounce the wrong way for them, and the Bruins surged back, and as a result, it proved to be a goal, and that's been the difference.
Oh, well, the game isn't over yet, no matter what happens.
No, it's going to be a real third period.
That's right. Thanks very much, Bill Azanicki. And now back to Wes McKnight.
Now we have a pair of guests with us, the world figure skating champions, Barbara Wagner and Bob Paul of Toronto, who are here in the Boston Garden watching this game tonight. Barbara, how are you enjoying the game?
I'm just weak. I'm so excited. Really and truly, it's wonderful. Just great.
Bob, what are you doing here in Boston?
We're skating at the Ice Chips Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's the world's largest amateur show now in Boston.
I believe I'm supposed to say that through the cooperation of the Canadian Amateur Figure Skating Association that you're allowed to be with us here tonight. Well, we want to thank them very, very much. Now, how are you enjoying the game? Really thrilled?
Well, I'm telling you, I've almost lost my voice. I don't know whether anyone can hear me right now, but for the first period, I was weak, and then when they got that second goal, I don't know what I'm going to do. I think
that was the end. We've just got to pick up now.
That was. How do you like the crowd here in Boston?
Fantastic, isn't it?
Really terrific.
Kind of pro-Boston, though, isn't it?
I would imagine so. But tell me one thing more. You've had quite a tour of Europe, haven't you, recently?
We just came back last Thursday, yes. We were in Prague just after the hockey team left. We saw them one day before they left. And then Warsaw, Budapest, Bratislava, Katowice, Berlin, Geneva, Paris, all around.
Enjoyed it, eh?
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thanks very, very much, and we hope you continue as the world's figure skating champions for a good many more years.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Barbara Wagner and Bob Paul. And now, here's Foster with another guest.
My next guest is Ken Reardon of the Montreal Canadiens, one of the executives now, one of the top brass, after being an outstanding Montreal Canadian player for years. Ken, how about some observations on the play so far?
Well, honestly, Foster, I came to the game convinced that Boston would win, but after 2 periods, they're lucky to be ahead. I thought really a good score should be Toronto about 5 and Boston 2. Toronto have been just overpowering Boston all night, but they can't score. Lumley has been tremendous. This third period should produce a lot of hockey, and frankly, I don't think the 1 goal can stand up for Boston the way they've played so far.
No, the way they were working for that big break in that second period, it looked to me as if the Leafs were going to just literally push them right into the far end there for a while.
Well, I'd like to save myself a long-distance phone call right now and talk to the Montreal Canadiens and Toe Blake in particular and tell Toe, get ready, Toe, because whatever team comes out of this series, we're in for a tough battle. And these have been 2 good periods, but Toronto are just overpowering them, although they can't score. It's hard to pick an individual star on Toronto because they're checking so well. They have smothered every Boston attack. They just approach the Boston blue line, the Toronto blue line, and they just disappear. The whole Toronto team is playing well, and to me, I still think Toronto's going to win the game.
Well, it's a great game and a great series.
I think this is the first game I've seen in the series. I've read papers and heard comments from the experts that it was a good series, and I'll have to go along with it. The 2 periods that I've seen have been terrific.
Thanks very much, Ken Reardon. We'll return in just a moment to Bill Hewitt with the play-by-play of the 3rd period.
You know, these days a lot of motorists seem to be asking their dealers, how often should I change my oil? Every 1,000 miles? Every 2,000? Or even perhaps every 4,000? Well, the only answer to that question is it depends. It depends on the kind of driving you do and the conditions under which you drive. Now, most motorists, in fact, 60%, drive under average conditions. Now, that means mostly city driving with the usual number of stops and starts and with an occasional run out on the highway. Now, for this average kind of driving, the oil should be changed every 1,000 miles. Under severe conditions, for instance, when you're driving most of the time on very dusty roads under extreme temperatures in winter, or in the city when you're continually stopping and starting, then it's wise to change your oil every 500 miles. Ideal conditions mean consistent long-distance highway travel with only occasional city motoring. And here you can afford a higher mileage between oil changes. Now, if you're in any doubt, play it safe. A more frequent oil change is a small premium to ensure the proper lubrication of a mighty big investment, your car's engine. And be sure, the next time you change, to try SO Extra motor oil, the new measure of confidence for modern high-compression engines. It's the latest reason why you can always look to Imperial for the best.
Oh yeah, the latter part. We're just waiting for the teams and the officials to return to the ice. Here the officials coming out now, led by Eddie Powers, who is refereeing tonight's game. Even though in the order for the officials, Red Story was supposed to handle this game, but due to the resignation ahead of the game, Eddie Powers was the next in line and took over. And incidentally, Eddie Powers has been handling an excellent game right through. It's been a hard one. In fact, in the first period, there were there's one big fight and one near fight, and situations that could have got out of hand, but they didn't. And it's been a very clean, even though it's hard checking, it's clean. And there seems to be the best spirit between these two teams in that they're giving everything they have. They're playing great hockey, the two of them. They're just about letter perfect at times on their passing plays, but the Bruins have cashed in on that big one when Boyven went end-to-end for a sensational goal. The Leafs had more opportunities to score, but it's getting to be common practice for them to have to almost be twice as good in that department to get out on even. Lumley getting a great hand as he returns to the ice. You recall he was injured when he stopped a shot with his mouth, had 2 teeth knocked out, one his own, and had 7 stitches. Only 1 goal was scored in that second period. There were no penalties. Boyven got the goal, going end-to-end at 14:33. The Leafs outshot Boston again, 11-7. The Leafs outshot Boston in the first period, 10-5. This is the 7th and deciding game in the series, with the Boston Bruins now leading in this game, this crucial one, 2-1. We're all ready for the third period, and here's Bill Hewitt.
All set now for the face-off as Harris, Mahavlich, Eamon, Horton, and Stanley will face McKell, Tapazzini, and McKinney. All set for the face-off. Armstrong is playing on the defense with Boyven. Mahavlich turns for the pass to Stanley. Stanley comes straight up the ice to center. Shot the puck into the Boston zone. Boyven nearly lost it in front of his own net, and McKell has it. McKell to Tapazzini to McKinney. Up over the Leaf line. McKinney is ridden off. Eamon, a pass to Harris. He rolls the puck into the Boston zone, and Lumley stirred it off to the side. A clearing pass to Tapazzini, stopped by Harris. Armstrong rolls it out and down the ice, and Horton of the Leafs goes back for it. Horton to Eamon, stopped by McKinney. McKinney failed to keep the puck in. Horton lost it. The Bruins now with McKinney coming in on the left wing, still has it. Pass to Armstrong. Horton knocked it down, rolled it out to center ice. Boyven knocked it in, and Harris shot it out. Boyven clearing a pass to McKinney. McKinney rolls the puck back into the Leaf zone as the Bruins play defensive hockey now, and Mahavlich goes back for it. Mahavlich on the right side, up the center, missed a check, shot the puck into the Boston zone, and Flaman has it. Flaman, a cleared pass out to Busick, over to Stasiuk, stopped by Stanley, and Stanley of the Leafs. Pass to Duff. Duff failed to get out. Horvath over to Busick. Horton jammed the Boston player in against the boards. Armstrong of the Leafs has it. Ahead to Regan. Regan up with Duff, over the line, and it was shot back out to center ice. Horvath with Busick. Horvath gets hit with a shot. Knocked down by Armstrong, who shot the puck out over the blue line to center. Score is 2-1 in favor of the Boston Bruins, and they come back over the line again. Stasiuk took a shot. Stanley covered his man. Horvath trying to center it. He's bumped by Duff. Armstrong, he passed it right in front to Stasiuk. It hit Stanley and went back out to center ice. Bruins with Morrison clearing the puck in. Bauer made the save, shot it off to the side. Stanley tried to get away with Duff, and Regan's back for it. Regan watched by Stasiuk. Regan still has it. Regan, a pass to Duff at center. He rolls the puck, shot the puck into the Boston zone. Boyven nearly lost it in front of his own net, and McKell has it. McKell to Tapazzini to McKinney. Up over the Leaf line. McKinney is ridden off. Eamon, a pass to Harris. He rolls the puck into the Boston zone, and Lumley stirred it off to the side. A clearing pass to Tapazzini, stopped by Harris. Armstrong rolls it out and down the ice. And Horton of the Leafs goes back for it. Horton to Eamon. Stopped by McKinney. McKinney failed to keep the puck in. Horton lost it. The Bruins now with McKinney coming in on the left wing. Still has it. Pass to Armstrong. Horton knocked it down. Rolled it out to center ice. Boyven knocked it in, and Harris shot it out. Boyven clearing a pass to McKinney. McKinney rolls the puck back into the Leaf zone as the Bruins play defensive hockey now, and Mahavlich goes back for it. Mahavlich on the right side. Up the center. Missed a check. Shot the puck into the Boston zone, and Flaman has it. Flaman, a cleared pass out to Busick. Over to Stasiuk, stopped by Stanley. And Stanley of the Leafs. Pass to Duff. Duff failed to get out. Horvath over to Busick. Horton jammed the Boston player in against the boards. Armstrong of the Leafs has it. Ahead to Regan. Regan up with Duff over the line. And it was shot back out to center ice. Horvath with Busick. Horvath gets hit with a shot. Knocked down by Armstrong, who shot the puck out over the blue line to center. Score is 2-1 in favor of the Boston Bruins. And they come back over the line again. Stasiuk took a shot. Stanley covered his man. Horvath trying to center it. He's bumped by Duff. Armstrong of the Leafs passed it right in front to Stasiuk. It hit Stanley and went back out to center ice. Bruins with Morrison clearing the puck in. Bauer made the save. Shot it off to the side. Stanley tried to get away with Duff. And Regan's back for it. Regan watched by Stasiuk. Regan still has it. Regan, a pass to Duff at center. He rolls the puck into the Boston zone. Lumley stopping it for Levine. Now then Leach up to center ice. A pass to Gendron offside as Levine went in on the right wing in advance of the puck carrier. We played 2 minutes and 57 seconds of the third period, and Boston lead 2-1.
The Boston Bruins seem to be playing a semi-defensive game, trying to make this one goal stand up.
Puck is stopped by the Leaf defense, rolled out to center. It hops over Armstrong's stick, and Boyven's back for it. He rolled it out. Brewer over to Bond. Bond takes a long shot after running into Boyven. The puck is back in the Boston zone, and Levine ran into Pulford. It comes back to Bond. Bond takes his shot, and it was stopped by Armstrong. He failed to get it out. Olmstead goes after it with Levine. Levine goes behind the net, trying to come out. Shot the puck out over the line. Bond waits. Passes to Stewart, who's checked. Leach takes a long shot wide of the Leaf net. And Brewer tips it, but not out. A shot right on. Bauer left it for Brewer. And Brewer gets away from a check. Brewer, a long pass to Bond. Bond down the right side. He's stopped. Puck is shot right back at the Leafs net. And Brewer of the Leafs tries it to Stewart. Back to Pulford. And he couldn't get past his own blue line. The Bruins checking fiercely and keeping the Leafs in their own end. Olmstead is knocked out of the play. Brewer then is checked. Brewer then runs into Levine and knocks him down. And it's Brewer of the Leafs. A cleared, pass to Olmsted, back to Stewart, stopped by Levine. Vaughn of the Leafs comes up to center, trying to get it over the line, is tipped back down the ice, a race for it. Brewer shot it, but not out. Levine keeps it in with a shot, and that was wide. Stewart of the Leafs clears the puck behind his own goals. The Leafs are hemmed in their own end. Vaughn down the left wing to center, stopped by Topazzini. Topazzini's chased back. Stewart shot the puck around behind the Boston goal, and Morrison has it. Morrison rolled it to the line. Stanley trying to keep it in. He does, and they hold it against the boards for a face-off.
The Maple Leafs seem to sag a bit there under terrific checking from the Boston Bruins, who seem to be able to keep them in their own end quite a bit. It's really tense, close, hard fought, but clean.
2-1 the score in favor of Boston at the 5:03 mark of the third period. Topazzini's knocked down by Harris. The puck goes to the corner on the opposite side. Cleared out to Flaman. Flaman to McKell. Stopped by Horton. Horton runs the Boston player into the boards, and Eamon takes it. Eamon. A pass to Mahavlich. Mahavlich gets it, but it's offside. Face-off comes back inside the Maple Leaf blue line.
There hasn't been a penalty called, and not any reason for one, since 1829 of the first period. Barry Cullen is going on the ice for the first time in the series. He's taking his place on right wing now with Harris at center, Mahavlich on the left wing. 2-1 for Boston at the 5.5-minute mark, third period.
Puck was shot off the boards to center. Cleared back into the Maple Leaf zone. Mahavlich ran into Moans. Puck goes out to center. Harris shoots the puck into the Boston zone. Barry Cullen stopped Moans. Centered it right in front to Harris. It goes back to Barry Cullen again. He tried to center it, and back come the Bruins. It's over the line for McKell. McKell trying to go in. A pass to McKinney. Shoots. And a great save. And Barry Cullen has it. Barry Cullen to Harris. Over the line. Harris rolled it in front. And it goes to the wing. McKinney passing it out to Topazzini. It slides to center. Stanley back to Harris. Harris shoots the puck into the Boston zone. Mahavlich went after it. Took Flaman into the boards. Topazzini bumped by Harris. Trying to get the puck loose. McKell is checked by Barry Cullen. Barry Cullen let it go through Harris behind the net. Cleared over to the boards, and McKinney rolls it down the ice, and it's going right on the net. Stanley trying to work his way out with a pass to Duff. Duff failed to get it in. Morrison comes back for Boston, takes a long shot. Stopped by Bauer. And it's cleared to Duff in the corner. Busick stops that. Busick, number 9, getting in front with a shot. That was wide. Another shot. Went to the corner. It's poked back to Stasiuk. To Morrison, a shot. It's still loose. Stasiuk right in front of the net. Martin steered that off to the side. Horvath is draped along the boards. Barry Cullen holds it. Then Regan gets it. Regan gets it out over the line. Stasiuk brings it back with Busick. Busick turning around. A pass intercepted by Horton. Horton comes straight up the ice, over the line, fakes a shot, goes to the corner, tried to center it out in front, and Horvath gets it ahead to Stasiuk, who rolled it out. Regan was checked. Armstrong of the Leafs has it. To Regan. To Duff. He's over the line with Armstrong, and Armstrong just missed the pass. Armstrong tried to center it, and Horvath gets it. Horvath starts down the ice for Boston. Gets by Duff to center. Takes a long flip shot wide, and Regan's back for it. Now then Regan leads the attack. Up to center. Still has it. Flaman is knocked down. Then Brewer ran into Leach. Regan gets away from Levine. A flip past Armstrong. Leach stopped by Brewer. Brewer's over the line. Boston clear it out. Wolford gets on the forward line. And Pulford's back for it. Pulford coming out to center ice with Olmsted. A long shot, right on. Lumley came after the rebound. Score! Pulford ties it up.
Pulford went flying in there a mile a minute and got the rebound. Lumley made a desperate effort to cover up, but that Leaf drive was relentless at times, and it finally paid off, and it's now a 2-all tie. The Bruins have scored first on 2 occasions. They got the first goal. The Leafs tied it up. Bruins got the goal to put them up, and they're tie again.
8:36. Pulford scoring for the Maple Leafs.
That goal by Pulford, as Boivins, was unassisted. He went right down. That time he got the rebound and tied it up for the Maple Leafs. It's just the kind of a game it is.
Puck goes over to the far wing. Bond of the Leafs comes to center. Takes a long shot. That's wide. Pulford goes after it. Flaman is knocked into the boards. Took Pulford with him. And Gendron is stopped by Brewer. Brewer gets it for the Maple Leafs with Olmsted, who takes the pass from Pulford. He rolls it right back into the Boston zone. And it's Moans back for it. Moans coming straight up the ice to center. Handed it to Stewart of the Leafs, who flipped it off the boards. Olmsted tried a pass intended for Pulford. Leach held it long enough in his glove for a face-off. We've played 9 minutes, 29 seconds of the third period. The score is tied 2-all.
That goal by Pulford was Pulford's 3rd goal of the series. And it's a 2-all tie after 9 minutes and approximately 28 seconds of this third period. It's just a desperately fought game here. This is a 7th and deciding game, and they're extremely close.
On the face-off, the Leafs with Horton coming up to center. Tried to roll it through. Boivin gets a break. One man back. Boivin trying to get his shot. He did. It was wide. The Leafs hemmed in their own end. McKell took Eamon against the boards along with Stanley and Mahavlich covering McKell. And we have a face-off in the Maple Leaf zone to the left.
The Boston goals have been scored by Stasiuk and Boivin, and the Maple Leaf goals by Regan and Pulford.
All set for the face-off. The puck is dropped. It comes back. Topazzini's shot went right over top of the Maple Leaf net. Topazzini cleared it back to Boivin at the blue line. It rolls around behind the Maple Leaf net, and Stanley has it. Stanley to Mahavlich. Mahavlich goes to center with Harris. Over the line, Mahavlich going right in. And he left it there. Harris trying to get a shot right in front. Eamon. Eamon shoots. It's knocked down, and the Bruins get a break. A pass to McKinney's got a break. Save on McKinney, who was right in.
That is possibly the key save in the game by Johnny Bauer. When McKinney went right in alone on him, he seemed to have plenty of time to figure out what he was going to do. Bauer made him make the move first and blocked the shot. That was a sensational play all round.
Face-off is in the Maple Leaf zone to the right, and they didn't drop the puck fairly, so they'll do it over again. Score is tied 2-all. 9 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in regulation time. From the face-off, the score is tied 2-all. Brewer gets it ahead to Duff. Duff to Regan. Regan up with Armstrong and Duff. Back to Duff. Duff tried to go around Flaman. Regan keeps the puck in. Tried to roll it in front. They did. Lumley made the save. Stasiuk is checked by Armstrong, but gets it out to the blue line. Regan checked him. Stasiuk turns again. Stasiuk ran into Busick. Has the puck for the Bruins. A pass to Flaman. Back to Stasiuk. Up to the leaf line, back to Busick, and Busick shot the puck back to center ice. Busick still has it. Regan had him covered. Busick gets over the line, trying to go around Vaughn. Still has it, passed it in front. It comes back to Flaman. There's a shot right on. Horvath did rebound. Bauer went after it. They fight for it, and Bauer's got it in the goal crease.
Well, there was a wild scramble there around the Maple Leaf goal as the Leafs were having difficulty in getting that puck close enough to Johnny Bauer to grab it. He finally did, but it was close. He's just cooling out a bit after that session, as you see.
Score is tied 2-2 on a face-off in the Maple Leaf zone to the left. Number 24 in the light jersey is Leach of the Bruins, facing off with Stanley, number 26 of the Maple Leafs. The puck is dropped. Pulford comes out with it. Pulford straight up the ice to center. Trying to go through the defense. Got as far as Boyven, who covered him. And Levine comes back over the line. He's checked, and the puck went back to center. Leach is then jammed into the boards by Pulford, and Olmsted takes a long shot, and it's offside as Stewart went in quickly on the right side ahead of the pass.
At this stage, the Leafs seem to have a slight edge in legs, if nothing else, but it's just first one team having an advantage and then the other.
8 minutes and 17 seconds left in regulation time. The score is tied 2-2, and it's Horton flipping it into the Boston zone. Levine shot the puck around on the boards to Gendron. It comes back to Horton. Horton takes his shot off Leach, and it deflects into the crowd, and there will be a face-off in Boston territory.
The air just seems to be electrified here in the Boston Garden, and oddly enough, there's a strange silence that's come over the crowd. I think many of them are almost afraid to look.
The puck comes back to Horton, the shot, knocked down by Boyven. Boyven races down the ice to center, up over the Leaf line, a pass to Gendron. And Gendron tried to center it. He does, and Stanley of the Leafs gets it. Ahead to Olmsted. Olmsted takes a shot. Boyven stopped it. Stewart waits for Pulford to get onside, and then shot the puck into the Boston zone. Morrison cleared the puck. It bounced to Gendron. Gendron comes out down to the Leaf blue line. He takes his shot. Horton stopped that, lost it. The puck goes behind the Leaf goal and over into the corner for Pulford. Pulford misses a check from Leach. A long pass intended for Stewart. Pulford stole the puck and just failed to get in as Morrison covered up. Back comes Morrison of Boston, number 10. Trying to go around. Stanley has him covered. Fell. And Eamon gets it. Ahead to Harris with Mahavlich. They're over the line. Back to Mahavlich. He's going right in. He passed it out in front. Here's Mahavlich getting set. He shoots. Oh, and he missed the corner with a backhand. Vaughn took a shot. And it deflects all the way out to center ice. Brewer. A long pass. Stopped by Boyven, who rolled it out. Now then the Bruins come over the line. It's offside as McKell went over the blue line in advance of Tapazzini, who had the puck.
They're very anxious to get that extra jump as they go over that blue line. And McKinney there went over on the left side to nullify the rush. It's a 2-2 tie. Less than 7 minutes remaining to regulation time.
Puck comes back to Brewer. Brewer over to Bond, ahead to Harris. Back to Bond. Bond tried to shoot it over the line. It's stopped by McKell. Eamon. A pass to Mahavlich. Up over the line. Mahavlich took his shot as Flaman went down. Brewer then ran into Flaman. Harris tried to dig the puck out. He did, but Moans covers up. Moans. A pass to Flaman. Flaman's pass goes out to center ice, and Bond of the Leafs traps it. Rolled it back over the line. Moans. A pass to McKell. McKell being watched by Eamon. Chased over to the right side. Skated off. Chased into the boards. Tapazzini rolls it back to the line. Flaman shot knocked down by Brewer. He flips it to Eamon to Harris. Eamon gets it again out to Harris. And Mahavlich is replaced by Duff. It's McKell. A pass to Tapazzini. Back to McKell. Over to Boyven. Boyven gets over the line. Ran into Bond. And Duff gets it to Brewer. Brewer coming down the ice to center. Ran into Stasiak. Then Busick over the line. Trying to get his shot. And Armstrong of the Leafs leaves it for Duff. Duff is then knocked down by Boyven. And the puck goes into the Boston zone. Stasiak, Horvath going after it. And Morrison is checked by Duff, but Morrison gets it. Morrison coming up with a pass. Over the line to Busick. Caught by Regan. And it's cleared out to Duff. Duff and Regan failed to get anywhere. Stasiak and Horvath. Horvath's shot was caught by Bauer, and he held it for a faceoff.
Mohn's knee seems to have gone on him. He just limped off on that last turn, and they immediately went to work on his knee. Seemed to get it wrenched a bit. Two Leaf players, Duff and Brewer, took terrific body checks there at center ice. Still tied 2-2, less than 5 minutes remaining of regulation time. And each team looking for that big break.
All set for the face-off. The puck is dropped. They didn't drop it fairly, so they'll do it again. And the Bruins are making a change.
Boyven got on, went off, and then's coming on again. He's played a sensational game for the Bruins. In fact, every player on the two teams has been a star in this game.
Score is tied 2-all. 4 minutes and 34 seconds left. The puck was not dropped fairly. Beaufort jumping into the circle. All set for the face-off again. Beaufort facing off with Horvath, and Beaufort got the draw back to Stanley. Stanley, a flip pass ahead to Olmsted. Olmsted rolled it out to Stewart, to Beaufort. Beaufort is knocked down. And the Bruins get possession. Horvath ahead to Busick, stopped by Horton. Horton of the Leafs, cleared pass to Beaufort. He was bumped by Flaman. Boyven over to Stasiak. Stasiak closes in with a shot. That was wide. Busick left it at the defense. It rolls out, and Beaufort has a break. One man back. Beaufort closes in, fakes the shot, lets it go. Oh, what a great save by Lumley. It hit him on the shoulder. He didn't even see it. Puck is rolled back into the Leaf zone, and Bauer leaves it for Olmsted. Olmsted is checked. Harden of the Leafs gets it. Harden gets it out over the line. Morrison had it in his skate. Comes back over the line. It's tipped out. Tapazzini pass to an open wing, and the puck is shot right back into the Maple Leaf zone. And Stanley has it. Stanley coming up slowly for the Leafs. A pass to Horton. Horton races up to center. Takes his long shot, and that hit a stick and went to the corner. Puck is in the corner for the Bruins. Score is tied 2-all. Flaman trying to get it out. A pass to McKell. McKell up to center. A roll pass knocked down by Brewer. Brewer goes into the corner, still has the puck, goes behind the net, hits out in front, trying to get his shot, gets it back to Bond. Bond's shot is knocked down, and the Bruins bring it out. It's McKell, a pass to McKinney, and it just failed to click. It's Mahavlich coming down alone, going over the line, a pass to Eamon. He shoots, he scores! Eamon scores for the Leafs. Eamon picked the bottom right-hand corner. And the Leafs lead 3-2.
There's the old trigger man in there for the Leafs on a pass from Mahavlich, and Eamon with a perfect shot to the bottom corner gives the Maple Leafs a lead for the first time in the game. It was the Bruins starting off. The Leafs came back, tied it up. The Bruins took the lead in the second period, and the Leafs have scored 2 goals in this third period. Pulford tying it at 8:36, and they have about 2 minutes and 32 seconds remaining. We'll get the official time in just a moment.
Number 17, Eamon. Number 27, Mahavlich. Number 18, Brewer. Time, 17:27.
17:27 is the time, and the Bruins are back in their own zone. Bruins trying to get back. There's going to be a tripping penalty to Regan. Back up to center. Morrison goes over the line, and there's a penalty to Regan of the Leafs.
There hasn't been a penalty called since the first period, and there's a break. As Eamon is going to get a penalty, Regan, for tripping. That goal was scored by Eamon at 17:27. Mahavlich and Brewer getting assists. Now this will give the Boston team their break and opportunity to tie it up.
Regan, 2 minutes tripping. Time, 17:42.
There's all kinds of drama in this game. 17:42 is the time in third period here of regulation time. Toronto Maple Leafs leading 3-2. But now they're a man short. Pulford and Stewart will try to kill off the penalty with Horton and Stanley.
All set for the face-off now with inside Maple Leaf territory. Pulford shot the puck down the ice right from the draw, and McKell goes back for it. McKell is playing on the defense with Morrison. Stewart has McKell covered. Here's Pulford stealing the puck, a shot, and that was wide. Stewart from the other side, holding the puck against the boards. It goes loose to Horvath, and we have 2 minutes left. Horvath is knocked down by Stewart. Then McKell gets the puck out, and Horton stops it and shoots it back. Morrison coming up for the Bruins, up to center ice. A pass to Stasiuk. Goes into the corner. Stanley rolled it, but not out. Here are the Bruins with Stasiuk trying to center it. It comes back to Horvath. A shot right in front. They knock it off to the side, and Pulford gets it into the corner and shoots the puck down the ice. 1 minute and 18 seconds left. 3-2 for the Maple Leafs. As Busick comes racing up the ice. Over the line with Stasiuk. Stanley stopped him. Tried to knock it off to the side. He does. Gets an opening and shoots it out. Boyven clears it back to McKell. He knocks it back to Boyven.
1 minute to play in the game. 1 minute.
1 minute left as the Bruins close in again. A pass in front, a shot. Knocked down by Horton. Horton shoots it to the blue line. It doesn't go out. Horton knocked it to the side again. It's out in front to Horvath. Horvath takes a shot right up the Stasiuk. They made it 3-4 times, and Brewers got it. Bauer's got it.
There was a sensational play around the Maple Leaf net. Lumley has gone to the bench, so they have about 37 seconds left. Stanley is lying on the ice, apparently hurt on that play. That's Stanley lying there, but he's getting up slowly. It was quite a pile-up. Lumley is out of the Boston goal. Stanley is being called to the bench by Punchimlik. 37 seconds remaining. Brewer is standing up in the penalty box. The Leafs are still a man short and trying to hang on desperately. They lead 3-2 over the Boston Bruins in one of those titanic struggles. The Boston net is empty. The Leafs are coming over to the bench here. Johnny Bauer, there's the empty net at the Boston end. Then the Leaf players are gathered around Punchimlik. who has been guiding them in terrific style. They're ready for this all-important face-off in the Maple Leaf zone. McKenny will face off. The Leafs are still a man short. Brewer is in the box, and Lumley is out of the net. Or rather, Regan is in the penalty box. Regan is the player that had the tripping penalty. Stanley and Horton on the Leaf defense for the moment, but the Leafs haven't decided just who to have out there. Stewart is going over to find out how long Regan has in his penalty. It's almost impossible to tell by the clocks. Seemed about 10 seconds as far as the linesman was indicating there. But that isn't official. The Bruins have 6 forwards inside the Leaf blue line as Lumley has been taken out.
All set now for the important face-off in the Maple Leaf zone. They're lining up. The Bruins have 6 attackers. The Leafs are playing a man short. Bruins are using 6 attackers with the goalkeeper out. Lumley is over sitting on the bench. 7th game. Stanley Cup semifinals, and the Leafs leading 3-2. All set for the face-off in the Maple Leaf zone. Fulford got the draw and cleared it out and down the ice, and it's going over the red line. Back to touch it is Hillman, but the Leafs are a man short, so play can go right on. McKenny goes back for it. 18 seconds. McKenny, a clearing pass out to center ice. Stewart tried to stop his man. The Bruins clear it in. It's Stanley shooting it around on the boards. The Leafs try to get it out. Stanley flips it down the ice. There's 8 seconds as Regan goes after it. Horvath goes into the corner. The puck goes behind the net. 2 seconds left into the corner. The bell goes. The game is over.
And the Maple Leafs rush over to Bauer. Larry is being mobbed as the Maple Leafs go into the Stanley Cup Finals after a sensational effort here. The Bruins are leaving the ice exhausted. A great hockey team. It's really unfortunate these 2 teams can't win because it's a heartbreaker to lose, a glorious game to win, and the Leaf players, jubilant, are being applauded by a very sportsmanlike crowd in Boston. Punch Himlick is out there with his team. You see him there without his toupee. Everything, he's a happy man, and now he walks out there like the champ. The Leafs are leaving the ice, 3-2, the final score.
In just a moment, we'll have the summary and the 3-star selection. Once again, the final score, the Toronto Maple Leafs 3.